And in today's video, I actually wanted to discuss thoughts on Magic DVDs versus Magic books versus the growing, expanding trend of Magic just online uh, through your main Magic dealer, whoever that may be, and the trade-offs of each and just thoughts on each. So, with that said, let's roll that intro. So I know I'm going to get some comments in there, and I want everyone to be respectful where possible, of saying I am hardcore this or I'm hardcore that, and to each their own. Everyone has their opinion on that. I just think that it's cool that we have a wide variety of stuff or content to be able to go through or sift through, so we can be able to grow as a performer. And these, well, making a little side money. For the people selling those material, which totally respect. They also get to expand the material so people have a wide array to choose from to grow, and that's what's really cool. And but there are some things, and I'll give the pros to the Magic books. There are some things that really were not passed on from the modern content, because the content available online is from the magicians who are knowledgeable in certain fields, but they, not trying to discredit them, they may not be able to disclose or go over everything. There may be some pieces that they respect or never talked about in books or stuff of that nature. That the large amount, my point is, there is a large amount of material that is still in those Magic books, and they say, in the area of Magic, that we've published almost more books than almost any other sector. Like, we are very creative, yet we never almost see any Magic books because they're so secretive. It's kind of hilariously ironic almost. But there's a wealth of knowledge that books have, but I know a lot of people, as a trade-off, don't read or don't purchase Magic books, don't have a thing. I just learn online. I just learn on YouTube. And I understand that. But if there ever is a way to grow as a performer, there is some literature you need to consider. If you wish to learn how to manage audiences and really improve your performance outside of just the dynamics of card tricks, but as a performer, I would recommend, as Robert Dorian did at he was a Magic Castle chairman, he would recommend the book Relentlessly, Maximum Entertainment by Ken Weber. And as you can see how it's continuously sold out, it's a very good book. If you can find it, get it. Great book. Not sponsored, nor any of the feature suggestions. Or if you want to learn old-fashioned misdirection, you may be reading Slidini books. Or if you want to learn really good coin magic and the fundamentals and where it's gone from, so you can stand on the shoulder of giants and create your own effects, maybe you want to read the book of Royal Road to Card Magic, or by Gene Hugard and Fred Browie, or the J.B. Bobo book, Modern Coin Magic. So the list can go on, and these are the fundamentals that really help you get going. Because if you just learn through, let's just say, YouTube and online content, you may miss, and I'm just being honest, you may miss a lot of the fundamentals they're going to, or you may be limited to that person or individual's perspective. And having a wider array of perspectives helps you develop a cultured opinion, so you can be able to handle more situations, rather than you only knowing how to handle one situation, and if that goes awry, then no bueno. Not good. So, I want to say that books definitely have their place, and they still have their place, especially if, well, hypothetically, our internet was to go down or something of that nature. Books are still on paper. We still have them. We can go through them and read them. So having a couple is always nice, and it's always a good refresher that you don't need to have an electronic powered computer or phone or something of that nature. So they do have their place. And then there are the Magic DVDs, which are slowly going more and more out of fashion and going into the online world. But for what they were, if you can find them and you still have a DVD player, they are a cheap option, and they, while may be dated, a lot of them are still very helpful. And I'm not even talking about the VHS DVDs. Man, those are old. I bet for anyone watching this who's seen a VHS Magic DVD, they're like, wow, those are the days, man. Those are the days. You had to have the whole tape and everything. And so the advantages to DVD players, if you still have them, or Blu-rays, however you want to go about it, is that they are cheaper. And they have a physical, because they have to have a physical copy. You have a physical copy of this DVD, no one can take it away from you, or if the site goes down, you still have a real copy. And that's a real reason that people have hesitated in going to the online world and paying for it, is because this level of assurity that you have a copy, and that you can not only have a copy, but you can sell it. Haha! And if it ever gets valuable, then you can sell for a lot more money. But usually I notice that with the tech and everything going higher and higher, like newer tech, the older tech tends to go down. So it might be a trade-off, depending if it's a collectible or whatever you have. Especially if it's like a Rune Clan DVD. Won't even go there. But I love Rune Clan though. Great DVD. So there are some advantages to, though a little bit, not so much archaic, but they still have their place, but they're becoming less used than the growing popularity of the online world. So let's say and I'm just using an example, not trying to diss them in any way or anything. I know that Theory 11 and Illusionist have now subscription programs, which is pretty cool, that you can just pay a certain amount per month and you can watch a bunch of content, a whole wide array of Magic selection DVDs, and grow as a performer. Rather than having to spend hundreds, or rather, being honest, thousands of dollars on learning everything out there, you can just pay us a little certain subscription per month, which is cool. Or that's one section, and the other section is just buying DVD and learning it totally through the online platform, rather than any DVD or physical copy. And the trade-offs for that is that, well, you get to watch it whenever you want from any social media platform or whatever, phone, any device, whatever. But if the internet goes down, you can't watch it. And another disadvantage is that you don't actually own it. If your account goes down or gets banned, or anything happens, then you lose access to the content. It's like it's ripped away from you. Then you having a physical copy in your hands being a DVD, and no one can take that away. So you own it. So it's a trade-off. How much do you wish to own? It feels, well, I won't go into conspiracy tinfoil hat theories. I won't do that this video, or for my content. I want to keep it to the Magic Academy. But there are some advantages, and again, you get to learn as a performer and grow. But again, there are trade-offs, and seeing if it's right for you. They might be right because you just want to learn a couple quick tricks and then just be able to perform and not have to worry about it. And then it suits the niche, it's great. But for those who like to hold on to it, to sell, just to have, to own, for those who just like to be able to pull it up without having any kind of need for electronics, then you could just read a book and take a book anywhere and be able to learn. And that's really cool in and of itself. And you can be more engaging with that book. But another disadvantage I should throw to reading is, I'm noticing a lot of people do not read books. Like 80 to 90% of people do not read Magic books. They just don't have the time, and because of the dopamine, the social media content, and everything nowadays, it's better just to learn through more modern methods than it is anything else. And not mentioning names or anything, but it just seems like a lot of people don't even know the names of moves or stuff of that nature. They just learn stuff and then just try to perform it and regurgitate for views, which is kind of disheartening. But not saying that for a negative thing for performers. It just, so there's a small thing I see occasionally. Not saying for you or anything of that nature. So there are trade-offs and advantages to each, and I hope that there continues to be. I know that the DVD section is dwindling as the modern era is going to either you read books and you're old-fashioned, you can read books if there's still publishing books and there's still a great interest in books. You would need a niche market for those really interested in that. or for a great magician who has a great body of work, you'd be right there. Or eventually for just everything being going online and just you learning through online and paying for it online or having a monthly subscription, but there being no real ownage of it. Unless you are very, well, I don't want to go into methods on otherwise them being sneaky, you, the individual, being sneaky. But I just feel like there eventually it's going to come to one of the other books or that. And again, trade-offs. So to each. Me personally, I learned, and I'm just speaking from personal experience now, while I did learn from both, I still have a slight bias towards books and literature just because it was how I was raised. I would go on a lot of trips and I wouldn't be able to take phones because there would be no internet or anything of that nature. And nowadays, I put a lot of my books or anything I want to read onto my phone or like any online book or PDF I purchase. I can store it onto my phone, assuming I get to download it if I'm given permission. I can put on my phone and I can just read it or whatever now in the modern day. But just having a real physical copy to really see the illustrations and engagement, there's just a unique feeling to just books that makes it so wonderful. And DVDs, they're great. They have their place. But as with VHSs, they may be dated soon. Or they may go out of style or may be hard to find. Or just the whole process may be going away. So, there's trade-offs for each. And I think they're amazing. So, what is your preference? Do you have a huge bias or a preference for books, DVDs, online social media, or online media content? And what's the way you prefer to learn? Mention the comments respectfully down below. And if you haven't checked out this video or this video yet, definitely do so, and I will see you in the next video.